How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. We've got an action-packed one in regards to ABK and the vision going forward, when we can expect games, when we can expect, games from the back catalog to be remade, and other things that were all discussed in a Q&A on the Xbox podcast. So in this video, I'm just going to be going through the main points. But before we start, do consider leaving a like and subscribe. It does go a long way. We smashed the previous challenge of 250 likes. I was challenged to request a 500 like challenge. So here we go with a 500 like challenge. Let's see if you can, rise to the occasion. Let's set a real challenge. Okay, don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet done so. And if you can spare 2 minutes to check out the link in the description below to the GoFundMe, that would be absolutely amazing. It's not for me, it is for someone else I am trying to crowdfund for. On with the video. So a few videos ago, I set a question, and I'm going to do another one in probably an upcoming video, but the reaction has been absolutely amazing. So I asked, from the video that I made, 3 of the companies that actually came up was Sega, Capcom, and Nintendo, on who you think that, Microsoft Xbox should go for next. There were a couple of other nominees here, shadow companies to help with development, which I think is a good shout. But as you can see here, a decent number of votes, 872 votes, and the overwhelming majority at 83% said Sega, 12% said Capcom, 5% said Nintendo. And some of those who voted Nintendo genuinely believed it would never happen, but they decided to vote for it nonetheless. But thank you very much for taking part in the poll, and we'll definitely have another one in the coming videos. So yeah, looks like a lot of you really do believe Sega is a real possibility going forward. So on with the actual topic of the video in regards to, the Q&A that Phil Spencer went through in regards to Activision Blizzard King and their games, when we can actually see stuff. And it seems the reason why we're not getting any games this year is a two-pronged reason. And Phil Spencer explained that, the reason why the games are coming in 2024 is due to the regulatory process taking so long. Unlike the Bethesda one, which was pretty straightforward, and it was during, lockdown as well, so everything kind of went through smoothly. So they were actually able to quite early get in there with Bethesda, with ZeniMax, and actually start the process of getting these games onto Game Pass. Unfortunately, it seems Bobby Kotick, through all his speech, through all his this deal is going to go through, he genuinely believed that it may not go through because they actually prevented Phil Spencer and his team from going in and beginning the work that could have put these games onto Game Pass in 2023. And because they actually delayed that process, so it's clear, unlike this ZeniMax deal where everyone knew it was going through and those restrictions of Phil Spencer going in and trying to, getting everything set up went smoothly. Here, unfortunately, it seems Bobby Kotick didn't believe the deal was going to go through, even though Phil isn't quoted saying that. But the fact that they didn't let them go in and do the work speaks, volumes in itself. So that is where I'm getting this information from. That is where I'm deriving it from. The simple fact is, if you knew it was going to go through, why wouldn't you let the team go in and start the work? So the fact that we're going to get it in 2024 isn't because there's some Sony restriction or anything else like we originally thought. It is literally because A, the regulatory process took way too long, and B, it looks like Bobby Kotick didn't really believe that the deal was going to go through, so didn't want to let Microsoft come in and I guess see how things work and the internal workings before the deal was done, which I can totally understand. At the end of the day, there's a lot of company secrets there, so it is what it is, but that is why it's going to 2024. Now, Phil has mentioned Hexen a number of times, and he actually mentioned it a few times in this interview as well, how he, it's one of the games that he really enjoyed. However, just to make it clear, there is no plans right now for Hexen in this market. The market, he says, is kind of saturated with first-person shooters, and he's not sure if Hexen would actually be a right fit right now to be working on. But if you feel otherwise, do reach out to him on Twitter. He does actually have, he does actually read his own Twitter tweets, and just tag him and just express your opinion that you want Hexen. Call of Duty is going to remain on parity with PlayStation and other platforms. This was put forward to him, and he said in terms of skins and everything else, they will remain exactly the same. He turned around and said, at the end of the day, as far as the Call of Duty community is concerned, it is one community, and we want everyone to have the same experience regardless of where you're playing. We're not looking to get Call of Duty and use it as a bargaining chip to bring you over to Xbox or buy an Xbox console because we have this skin or that skin. He basically said we're not Sony. He even mentioned recently that they did a beta access where they got access early, and he said as for Xbox players, this wasn't very nice. It was a bad experience, and he doesn't believe that playing dirty like this is the way forward, especially for a franchise like Call of Duty. So as far as he's concerned in regards to Call of Duty, whether it's skins, map packs, or anything else, it will stay on parity and they will stay the same on no matter what platform. Now, he did mention that there may be resolution differences. I guess he's referring to the Switch, or PC can pretty much go to whatever stupid resolution you want it to go to. So there will be that disparity. So he made that perfectly clear. But he said as far as like content-wise goes, it will be the same. One version will not have a feature, like a one-year exclusive feature like Sony loves to do, over the other one, or a skin or anything else. They spoke about wanting to bring back games, back to ABK's rich catalog. There's a lot of games there, from Tony Hawk's, Guitar Hero, Zork, you can go back to StarCraft, Warcraft. There's loads of games there. Tenchu, I know that's a bit of a contention because they didn't actually develop it, they just published it. But there's a lot of games there that they can look to potentially bring back. And what Phil said was, as far as I'm concerned, when looking at these games, we want to give it to the right team. We want to make sure that the team that's building it, that's going to be working on it, can be fully invested, is passionate about bringing this product back from the ages into the modern times. He said it shouldn't be about the financial gain, and it won't be about the financial gain. If there is desire from the team to bring these games back, then they are 100% behind doing this. And at the end of the day, he's not looking at it from the financial point. He just wants the best games possible to come from the teams. We've all seen a game recently, in recent times, where the devs' passions weren't there and the game came out in a really bad state. Yes, we're talking about Redfall. That is something he doesn't want to do. And he has, kind of brushed on that point as well, when he said, Xbox has been doing an okay job, but not a great job. We need to improve and be delivering great experiences consistently. And that is something that he wants to do. And so I think the decision to go back and find the right teams to actually deal with the right games from the back catalog, who actually genuinely want to be building those games and actually want to be working on those games to bring them back from the archive to the present day. That is the right way to do it. He says there shouldn't be any financial gain. There always has to be that financial gain, that financial motive. So I'm guessing that's not the priority here. But, good on him for putting, wanting the right team with the right passion to bring those games back. And he's all for bringing those games back. In fact, he spoke about something called Revisited, which he quickly immediately realized what he said and said it's not a brand, but I reckon it can stick. I think Revisited is actually a good term for this. And, I hope maybe in, next year sometime, we'll actually start hearing about revisited games. He's looking at 2 games a year from the ABK catalog that could be revisited, I guess, to come back. I guess that's the best way to say it right now, right? It's stuck in my head. It actually works. I really like it. But 2 games a year is actually kind of cool, because don't forget, these games take a while to do. And this would be on top of the 4 games that he's promised every year. So that would be like 6 games. And that's not even looking at any shadow drops that might come along the way. Now, he has made it perfectly clear that he would love to have like a celebratory process this year where he can just drop some games, shadow drop them, but he 100% confirmed that is not going to happen because of the restrictions that were in place, either between the regulatory process taking so long and ABK. It's a bit of a shame. But he does go on to say that if the teams want this and want to devote the time to it and are passionate for it, to bring, around 2 games a year back from ABK, and they can set up a studio internally to actually make this happen, then he is all for it 100% without a shadow of doubt. Now, looking at games that he would like to see come back, we all heard of the Guitar Hero, a remake of like Tony Hawk. I know we had the recent ones with Tony Hawk, the kind of 1 and 2 being remastered in HD, but he's talking about actual remakes of these games. So a remake of Guitar Hero, Tony Hawk. Skylanders was one I've been talking about for a while, and he also mentioned it as well. That's up there because just the monetary potential on that with the figurines is astronomical. However, he did also mention like Sierra games like Zork and King's Quest, games that he grew up with that he'd like to bring back into modern times. And if there's a demand, if there's a team that's passionate about these games internally, he'd definitely love to do it. StarCraft got a mention as well as a game that he wants to look into, but ultimately he wants games being brought back to be treated with respect, to respect the heritage, to respect the lore, and to respect the franchise, and not just be a PR stunt. Hey, we've just bought ABK, we're going to release all these games for the sake of it. No, he wants actual, if the team is going to go back and work on these games, they need to be treated with respect and treated right. Now, talking about mobile gaming, he mentioned that going into mobile gaming is a must at this point in the gaming industry. Mobile games bring in just tons and tons of money. There's over 2-3 billion people playing on mobile games every day. That's just a slice of the market that he actually wants. This isn't to say that all Xbox games or Xbox partner games are going to go onto mobile or be free to play. That is not the case. Only select ones will be making it. However, one of the things that he is really excited about is the King portion, which in my opinion is the reason why they bought ABK, is their success with games like Candy Crush. You've got games like Call of Duty Mobile, which is doing really well. Diablo Immortal, despite how you feel about it, it is doing really well. So these are big franchises, and ABK with the King portion is up there as one of the biggest mobile gaming providers out there in terms of developers. So really good stuff, and hopefully we'll see some cool games coming to mobile as well. But if nothing else, what he wants is for those mobile gamers to be able to use Xbox Game Pass as a gateway through cloud to be able to play their games. And if he can get that going as well and bring that influence into mobile gaming on a more mainstream, it's happy days. It's an instant win because that's a big market to try and gain a following. Finally, the question was brought to him about how hands-on he's going to be with ABK. And this was a difficult question for him because of the sheer size of the stuff. And he doesn't want to encroach. He said, my decisions aren't always correct. I'm not always right in what I say. In generally, I'm pretty much wrong when it comes to game development. I'm not a game developer. I'm the manager. I oversee things and I make things happen. But he said, I'm going to be relying on the teams to do their thing. I'm going to be there overseeing. My team's going to be there overseeing. But ultimately, we want them to do what they do best. There will be some oversight. But ultimately, he expects the people in charge to do their roles, who will be empowered by Phil to do their jobs at the, to the best of their standards. And if they have any problems, they have any need for cross studio support, they can reach out and actually get that support. So I think that's more or less the right way to go. Instead of being completely hands-off, now having someone that can oversee, be there when they need it, provide the support that they need, give them the help that they need when they need it, reach out to the cross, studio expertise, and like we did with Starfield, where they brought in id Software to do that frame generation for 30 FPS, which doesn't feel like 30 FPS. It actually feels really damn good on the on the Xbox Series X. Like, I'm amazed at the technology that I'm amazed at what id Software managed to do. So that sort of stuff, bringing it together to making something special. That is where Phil will be focused on and providing that support where needed. Well, that's pretty much the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We have set a grandstanding 500 like challenge today. So let's see if we can smash that. Don't forget to check out the link in the description below if you have 2 minutes. It really means the world to me. Thank you so much. Even if you can't support in any way, simply sharing on your social media is more than enough. So thanks for that. And I will see you in the next video. Remain legend.